What's good, everybody on YouTube? This is your boy Akil McLeod, and I'm a full-time eBay and Poshmark seller. And today I want to discuss 5 things that I think eBay needs to improve upon in 2019. Now, I know there's a ton of other seller apps popping up. There's, of course, Poshmark, there's Mercari. The number one thing out there's Amazon. So there's so much competition, and I think in order for eBay to really, just continue to strive, I think they definitely need to, make some of these improvements. So hopefully, if anybody's from eBay is, watching this video, definitely take some of my stuff into consideration. And if you guys have any other, any other things that I might be missing, definitely drop it in the comment section below so we could just keep that conversation going. And hopefully this video gets big enough that someone from eBay really does see it and they make some of these changes so that they can make us sellers, our lives a lot easier. So if you guys are interested in these kind of videos, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get right into it. Alright, so the number one thing for me that I think eBay needs to fix in 2019, and there was some type of rumors going on that, eBay is changing their platforms and they're splitting from PayPal, so I don't know if this will actually affect it or not, but the number one thing for me that eBay needs to do is to start taking out their fees immediately after we make a sale. Of course, as of right now, we have to pay our fees at the end of the month, but that can really get kind of confusing, especially for new sellers. You never really know how much in fees you're actually paying unless you go and do the full breakdown, and even that can be kind of confusing as well. So I think eBay needs to adapt some of the methods that Poshmark has, where they take out their 20% fee immediately, and that'll just make life a lot easier. Not only would that help with bookkeeping, especially when it comes for tax season, but it'll just let you know exactly how much money you have, and you can just start to use that money to put it right back into your business, pay your bills, go on dates, whatever it is that we do with this money. That'll just make life a lot easier. So eBay definitely needs to get that fixed as soon as possible. Now, the next thing that I think eBay needs to improve upon in 2019 is their customer service. Now, I've been selling on eBay as a hobbyist since like 2008, so I definitely have a lot of experience with eBay, and trust me, their customer service has improved by a huge margin. Like, their customer service used to be dirt, and now it's really good in comparison to how it used to be. But I always think there's still room for improvement. Now, anytime I have a problem with eBay, I usually just call up, and the first thing that I would say is that it's a return, even if it's not a return. Only because if I say it's a return, I usually get someone on the phone a lot quicker. But if it's anything else, I usually have to wait on the phone for about 20 minutes. So I don't know what eBay needs to do in order to improve their customer service. Either hire more people, I don't know. That's something that they can probably, put together a team or some type of focus group and kind of figure that out. But I do think their customer service is something that needs to improve, especially for newer sellers, because ever since I got an eBay store, customer service experience has improved greatly. I usually don't have to wait too long, but for newer sellers and anybody that doesn't have an eBay store, I'm pretty sure anytime they make a phone call to eBay, they still have to wait for a very long time. So I think that's something they need to improve, especially if they want to continue growing in 2019. Next thing for me, and I'm not gonna stay on this topic for too long, but they definitely need to still make some improvements on their app. When it comes to the eBay app, it's still good, it's not terrible, but there are some features that you can't do on the app. I can't really think of everything at the moment, but there are a few things on the app that you can't do, and you would still need to use the desktop. And basically, when it comes down to it, I still list all of my items on the desktop. But when you have sites like Poshmark, where you literally don't even need a computer and you can do everything from your phone, it makes Poshmark much more attractive and just a lot easier to use. So when it comes to eBay, there are so many things that you really need to log in and use your desktop for, especially if you want to check stuff like your average sale price, or you want to message your buyer that sent you an offer. There's so much different type of things that you have to go onto the desktop to do. So I think they need to improve their actual phone app, just to make it more customer friendly, and just so that they can remain more competitive with some of the other apps out there like Mercari and Poshmark. Next thing, and this is definitely nothing too crazy, but I do think that it's something that they probably should take out, only because I think it's kind of unnecessary at this point, and that's the neutral feedback that they have in their system. For me, it's either good feedback or bad feedback. When it comes to neutral, that can kind of, you know, it literally is a gray area because the feedback button literally is gray, but it's just something else that can lower someone's overall feedback score, and I think it's not really important. And most buyers, they're really not kind of in the middle. It's either you had a good experience or you had a bad experience. And the other thing is, most people don't even leave feedback anyway, so chances of you getting something really good or really bad, it's really one or the other. So the neutral feedback is something that I think they can get rid of in 2019. Now, the most important thing that eBay needs to improve upon in 2019 if they want to remain competitive is that when someone either makes an offer or they win an auction, that payment needs to come out immediately. There's been too many situations where someone has won an auction that I was holding, or somebody sent me an offer and I accepted it, and then they didn't pay for it and I had to relist it and end up wasting a listing. Sometimes I end up having to pay for another listing or having to do the auction again, and then that's another, you know, 5, 7, or maybe even longer than that. So I think that's the number one thing that eBay needs to improve upon, is just making sure that when someone wins anything, whether it's an auction or the seller accepts their offer, that money needs to come out immediately. Because at the end of the day, for all of us, whether you're doing it part-time, full-time, or just as a hobby, once you make a sale, it's really not complete until you get that cash. So I think that's something you need to fix immediately. If there's nothing else you guys take into consideration, and I'm talking to eBay, if there's nothing else you guys take into consideration, please fix this in 2019. So that's all I have for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed this one, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also drop a comment if there's anything that I might have forgotten. I only limited it to 5 because I didn't want to go into too much detail and make it seem like I'm bashing eBay, because trust me, I really do like eBay, and I actually prefer eBay over Poshmark. So if you guys agree, definitely drop a comment and let's keep the conversation going, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.